Oh boy. Hi everybody. This is my end of the year, beginning of the year, cleaning off my desk and wrapping up projects and letting you know what I did in the year 2020 that has finally passed us. Thank goodness, right? So cleaning up my desk just so that the video shot is not too horrible. Boy, that's a challenge. Anyway, I'm Barbara Clark. Happy to have you here. I'm just going to do a quick flip through of things. I'm not going to flip through my Tanya's little book because there's a whole separate video of this pretty little book. And I'm not going to do a flip through right now of my fairy book because there's also a flip through of my fairy book, which I love. Those I did this year. So what I'm going to start with are my doodly book. So this is just like, if I had an everyday practice, it went in here. I worked in a journal notebook style, so I made my own little black book. And this was a recollections book, which is what I did for most of my art pages. So now we're just going to go down to the board and I'm going to show you my stuff. Maybe a couple of other things I've just remembered. So I'm going to start with my little toned tan book. And if I do a daily practice, I do it in this book. You'll see how consistent I am with that plan. These are some little pen holders that I made for my giveaways a year ago, Christmas a year ago. But you may not have seen those. Anyway, I like this. I've got a bunch of them, different kinds. So this, the first thing in 2020 was on the 2nd, and I was doing the little Inky Fairylands class, Joanna Baisford. And so I was really, Inky Art School, day 3. I was really determined to do this every day. Yeah, right. So this was on the 4th. See, there I did 2 days in a row. I played meditative drawing. Linda Berry, making comics. This was a picture of our Christmas tree last year. Isn't that cute? And all the little Santa hats go on all the little critters all around town. And this is our normal little fountain that we leave on the hearth. Is that clear? It's a fountain on the hearth for the kitty cat water. Angeles Arian is an anthropologist, and she's done these preferential shapes book called, yeah, I'll think of it in a minute. I'll put it in later when I edit. Anyway, the 5 universal shapes, and put them in your own order, and then she explains what that order means and what they mean. Then I was back into symbols, and then I got back into making Celtic thingies. David Nichols is really great at explaining how to do Celtic designs, and he's also on YouTube. Is that clear? I can't tell. I think maybe I need to invest in a new camera this year so that it actually can be clear, because I'm not sure that is. Anyway, this was back to the Inky Wonderlands. See, my practice diminishes by the day. This is February 16th. I love those though, aren't they pretty? They're so pretty. Then this harkens back a couple of years, so I'm reusing a book. This is a book that had some jelly prints in it. I want to see what it was. And this is some other Zentangling from 2018. This was working on dreams, and I came up with a logo. I should do this. Then I got into some stuff. Who was it who did the roll of Picasso? Oh, Barb Owen. inspired the first roll of Picasso for me this year. So this was the one I did in the Barb Owen. This is the one my honey did when I was showing it to her later. So that's fun. This was in Barb Owen. Oh, I took a Barb Owen Mandala Madness class. Oh, I've got some mandalas to show for that. Beyond Mandala Madness. And I learned to do this wonderful border. And that was in April. I guess I have another book to get out to show you guys. And then this was on Beth. This was a Beth Schuler thing. I think it was a draw a cat Picasso thing, but it was something about a box, a cat in a box. I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't a cat in a box, but mine became a cat in a box, right? Then I wanted to do some art. I wanted to do some more Zentangling, just playing, just letting the pen go where it wants to go, practicing patterns. And then I did one of the Linda Berry pages, invoking the spirit of Linda Berry, with gratitude for Melanie Sullivan, whose video review of her books I found today on YouTube. Guess I need a picture of it after all. I don't know what I need a picture of. 12 minutes of art of drawings. Linda Berry is a hoot. Love Linda Berry. Then I was playing with the color shift. That's pretty. I love those things. Then some more of the Inky Wonderlands. During another Zoom that I wasn't doing the Zoom, somebody was making a box on the Norbeg Zoom, and I was making drawings. Then there's another Beth Schuler, I believe, a Halloween monster roll, which I really love. I mean, that. How cute is that? Is that cute? That's the end of that book for now, so it's ready for more. I think I'll start this Traveler's Notebook. You know, I made a Tanya inspired folio to keep my Traveler's Notebooks in. So this is the one, this is the folder I made in January of last year that I kept all these books in, and now I've got my books ready to go for this year. So that's where they live while I'm working on them. And this, I've got to make a new cover for these now because they're coming out of that folio. So this was just black. I just made a little tiny book with black cardstock. And this was from a little surface painting workshop I took, local artist, here in Northern California. So I did a little bit of this this was in July, and also in July something happened with my thumb that is still happening with my thumb, so I can't really doodle like I want to do, and I'm really still frustrated. It's still not fixed. So anyway, enough of that. But I did a few things, some of which I liked, some of which I'm not sure I care about, but I like this one quite a lot. Can't complain about that. This is a hand-carved stamp. I designed the stamp. These are the Angie Arian shapes. I wanted to carve stamps of those because I really love these symbols. They're great symbols to just use all over. And this was the hand-carved stamp. This was a hand-carved stamp. Then this was drawn from, oh shoot, Of course I don't remember her name. I will. Then this was when my hand went out and I decided I couldn't be doodling, so I decided I'd doodle with cutout papers. And actually I quite like it. It's called Potential. I like that. I like that quite a lot, actually. Then this was a challenge in August. I think it was a challenge to use black paper. And there's a prompt for every day. I think this was on Art Joy of Sharing. So I managed to get 4 days. See, I'm good. 4 days. I can almost do 4 days of anything. Maybe not. But anyway, I like this. And then Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Oh. So she's in here. Today we mourn RBG. Tomorrow we fight for her legacy. And isn't that a great image? Ruth Bader Ginsburg as the Justice card in the Tarot deck. Yeah. Yeah, right. Love it. Anyway, that's all I did in here. Oh, this was on the autumn equinox. So, 2 pages, not done. So this was my main book for, I call this my creative year, and it's kind of where I just put all of my collected pages of things. So this was my 2020. Oh, the mystery was my word. Oh God, didn't I get caught up with that? Mystery. So 2020 inspiration, my own stash, jelly printing, everyday sketching. See, every day I had the intent. Art with Laura, a friend of mine, Laura Gregain, and I get together once a week on Zoom and do some kind of art together, maybe with more of a spiritual sense to it. YouTube and Facebook Fibs, Art Joy of Sharing, This, That, and Chat, My Creative Year, Lisa, My Eclectic Life. So that was my introduction to 2020. This was some tissue paper I found somewhere, and I had to put it on the page because it was fun. My Art World on the 17th. This was practicing putting gesso down on the page and putting, it's either my watercolor doodle. I don't know. I ended up liking that a lot. I ended up liking that just fine. The watercolor doodles. I think there was a, in my creative year, there were prompts for the days, like the coffee cup and the bee. I don't know what there were. Poppies, balloons. Anyway. So, Neocolor 2 and Scribble Sticks. Practicing. Okay. That works. Napkins, recycling, playing along with Barb Owen. I like this recycling the husbands, lovers, boyfriends. Works. The background of this, you can barely see it, are some stamps I made in a challenge I did that I also have a video on, using something from the Dollar Tree. And so what I got were those puzzles, the 9 pieces fit together, and I made them into stamps. Made them into my own foamies. So that's what that background is, plus napkins. Here's some more. This is another one of my little handmade foamy stamps. Just some, this is a hand-carved stamp. This is hand-carved stamp. This is not. The Venus of Willendorf is one of my favorite goddess symbols. The butterfly is, of course, one of my favorite symbols for transformation. don't remember what all these were. But, you know, it's what it is now, right? That counts. Let your hair down. Dream. This was one where we added texture. I don't know if you can see the texture on there. This is all textury, and this is texture. This is real textury. So I've got like modeling paste under there. This is a hand carved stamp inspired by Tanya. This is a Gina Ahrens stamp. Oh, and I also, I don't know how I did that. Must have a stencil. Oh, that's what it is. It's a stencil because look, that's raised in the same pattern. That's Gina Ahrens. I carved this out, but these are the Diane Reevely letters. I stamped it and then I carved it so that I'd have the word dream. But these are not my, this is not my font. But that's good. It's now mine. Mine now. Favorite things, Memorial Day 2020. Nothing in here about COVID, is there? Laura Vergain sent me this in some happy mail. So she made me think of one of these quotes I like. This paper, I'm not going to use this book again because this paper is so thin. It's fine if you want to glue something down on it. So here I was just gluing things down, jelly prints down on the page. Hand carved stamp, and that's hand carved stamp. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Joseph Campbell. That's a nice quote, isn't it? This is a page I just did recently. I put some napkins on here that Laura sent me. I kind of made a background with some scribble sticks or something like that, just to put color on the page. See this? See how wishy this paper is? Just with that. And then this was to finish out the year, actually. And these were just empty in here. So this is one of my year finishing out. I just came back and played with jelly prints in this page too. I haven't put anything on it. Probably won't at this point. It's probably just done. Those are probably just what they're going to be. I did scan these so I can use them in other things. This was the beginning of something in... Was this the beginning of the black and white? And I had just gotten these stencils from Joggles or somewhere. So I did my black and white. I did that with, boy, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? Posca pens, probably. This was just a page. Nothing special. I had just gotten this new stencil. I just carved or made this little thingy with fun foam. Had the little Buddha around for ages. Finally bought a Digi something. So this is my nod to the Digi world. don't usually do much Digi stuff, but that's good. This was voting. This is pre-voting. And a maple leaf from our yard. The choice is yours. This background is, you can't really read it, but every month one of my practices is soul collage. One of these days I should do a soul collage video for you guys. What is it? But anyway, I always do my handwriting journal page with the soul collage, and then I type it up and have it in my computer. And which is one of the reasons why I can't get rid of this old iMac and upgrade it, because I have InDesign in there and I can't upgrade InDesign or I'll lose it. Or I'll have to pay for it every month. Okay, the choice is yours. I voted. And then this was waiting for the election results. No, this was before the election too. 10:30. This was before the actual election day. Peg Robinson sent me this great little metal stencil. Isn't that pretty? One of those little metals, brass stencils. This is the Arundhati Roy quote. Another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, you can hear her breathing. Love that quote. Very beautiful. This was election day. And I made a page. Napkins on top of a background that I had painted and stamped. And this is one of my very, very favorite songs, Finlandia. This is my song, O God of all the nations, a song of peace. This is my home, the country where my heart is. Here are my hopes, my dreams, my sacred shrine. I just needed this that day, and I still need this song today. This was another one I just filled in the last few days of the month. Just putting color on the pages. I didn't want to go out with this book with all these blank pages in the end. So, the year is winding down. It made me think of the song, and I used up all my Scooby-Doo stamps on my Christmas cards. Aren't they cute? Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo. So this is a great song that Betsy Rose sang or wrote during the pandemic. Evening falls, the day is ending. All my work, I lay it down. Let it rest until tomorrow. Day is done, lay it down. Lay it down, your every burden. Evening shadows gather round. Come, sweet night and gentle darkness. Day is done, lay it down. Isn't that fabulous? This right here is a stamp I did in Carve December this year. This was when we were waiting for election results, and it had, when I first did it, it just had this blob of shiny blue color on a black dull page. Waiting for election returns. It's not even dated. And then I just thought it was too stark and too bare and too boring. So anyway, I came back and this dragonfly glaze. It's just a clear glaze with the blue sparkles in it. So I decided I had to have more hope than this. Then we get into Carve December. So I carved this Christmas tree this year and this one last year. So that was my first Carve December thing. Got busier doing a few others. I had seen Lisa made this stamp for her fairy book, like this. So this was my vine leaf border stamp. And then I had this punch with the little frog, which I adore. So I printed it out and scanned it. There it is. And then I made a stamp out of it. So now I have a frog stamp. And then I kept going. This was a Tanya. She had made this border stamp last year, I think. And I had somehow come up with this idea last year. So these were left over from last year. This was this year. I made this border this year. After I made the trees, after I made the leaves in the line, I made a thing that I can make a whole border stamp here. This is from the stencil joggles, the tree stencil from Crafter's Workshop. So I made myself a stamp of that. So this is my Carved December tree stamp. Isn't that gorgeous? I really love that. Did some more jelly printing on a page and never finished the page, but got some butterflies on it. Got a new stencil with butterflies in a big spray like that. Another one I didn't finish, but I just got some color on the page, so it's not blank. Then I surprised myself. I had to make a whole page. New Morning Coming. This was on the 31st. So this all came out really nicely. I'm very happy with it. Got a couple more unfinished. Another one finished. This is another quote I heard from Tanya. She reads out of that book, 101 art quotes or something. The object isn't to make art, but to be in that state in which making art is inevitable. And you know what I noticed on these pages? This one, see this? It didn't become anything. But this started out with no plan like the others. This started out, never got a plan. This never got a plan. This started out the same way. No plan. Had some stencils in the background and some jelly, you know, just some scraping on paint. But then it developed a plan. And so this whole business in the back of the book, plus those other 2 pages in the middle that were blank, this whole part in the back of the book has kind of enlivened me in a new way. I hardly ever sit down without a plan. And to sit down and just start with color was kind of a new thing for me. And extraordinarily fun. So I'm just very happy. Even these unfinished ones that didn't become anything in this book, they were fun. They're all just fun to do. And then all of a sudden, kablamo! I'm blown away because I love this. I love this. Invoking my inner Shel C to do some collage background. Collage background after you've already done the foreground. It's always good. Anyway, this really fed me this last week of 2020. And I love it. Very happy. So that is it. See, another one with something to become if it wants to. So that's it. I'll leave you in this, the New Morning Coming. But wait, there's more. So this was just from a stencil, playing with it. And this starts in April. Barb Owen had several of us join in. Well, anybody who wanted to could join in and be the ones who were filmed doing her new class that she's putting together. Her new class, Beyond Mandala Madness, is about to come out. So I look forward to actually getting the class now that I've sort of done the course. There's a whole lot more in it than I can't even think of. So anyway, this was graphite and one color. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. This was just, let's see if that's going to be too bright. This was just starting with a blob. Starting with blobs of color and then adding pen and adding color and adding just whatever you want to add to it to play. So that was a lot of fun. This was one of her freeing up your inner artist. This was what she called the dark side. You start with a dark piece of paper and go from there. I like that one too. Isn't that fun? These were 2 that were done together with jelly printing backgrounds and then working on them I don't know which one I did first. I think I might have done this one first. I just left it plain, and really kind of subtle, which I really like. I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And then, of course, bringing more color in. And I love it. I think it's really farm out. This was the border that I alluded to in the earlier part of the video that we learned to make. And I really like this border. Isn't that great? Great fun. I think that's it. No. Oh, but there's one more. This was where you sprinkled paint onto a background and then you put your mandala on top of it. So that's why there's red splotches in the weird places. Weird unplanned, sort of unplanned places. But I like it anyway. I don't care. I like it. So that was fun. I'm looking forward to that class. Yeah. So that's good. More mandalas coming.